Hello friends, how you doing everyone? Hope everyone is doing great and fantastic. Today we will discuss about post-operative nausea and vomiting. It is the most common symptom after surgery. The pathophysiology of post-operative nausea and vomiting is quite complex. So historically, it is post-operative nausea and vomiting was associated with ether and chloroform anesthesia. That's why John Snow, in 1848, he made an extensive description about post-operative nausea and vomiting. John Snow is also called as the father of modern anesthesiology because he gave anesthesia to Queen Victoria for her fourth delivery through C-section. And also one more scientist, Robert Ferguson, he postulated that he used olive oil to reduce post-operative nausea and vomiting because olive oil will absorb residual ether from the stomach. Then you all know about Brown Sequard. He says that addition of atropine to the morphine, it will prevent nausea and vomiting. Second half of 19th century, or 20th century, saw a decrease in post-operative nausea and vomiting due to non-ether anesthesia, and also we supplemented only a little amount of opioid, and also the operative techniques got refined, and we identified emetogenic factors. One more scientist, his name is Flag. He described three kinds of vomiting, and first he described the first kind of vomiting is due to ether, second is due to the reflexes, and lastly due to opioids. So on those days they used phenothiazines. Phenothiazines, for example, chlorpromazine and promethazine. But the limiting side effect with the chlorpromazine is sedation and hypotension, and also later on they used prochlorperazine and perfenazine first for the management of post-operative nausea and vomiting. Kapoor, I think he is an Indian doctor. He described post-operative nausea and vomiting as a big little problem following the ambulatory surgery. And also now we are recently using propofol. Due to the propofol's contribution, there is now a recent decline in the post-operative nausea and vomiting. Propofol in its sub-hypnotic doses will reduce the post-operative nausea and vomiting. So now the new development, substance P antagonist like neurokinin 1 is in the development to prevent the nausea and vomiting. So what is called nausea? Nausea is just an unpleasant sensation, that is a desire to vomit. So what is retching? Retching is that no content is expelled, but the muscular contraction of the GIT tract will be there. And then vomiting, the next vomiting. Vomiting is the forceful expulsion of the small amount of GI contents through the mouth. So we will see how the vomiting is got, how the vomiting reflexes is working. So first of all, the sensors of emetic stimuli are located in the gut and the chemoreceptor trigger zone. So the emetic stimuli in the gut are two types of receptor. One is mechanoreceptors and chemoreceptors. So the mechanoreceptors are getting activated by the distension of the muscular wall of the gut, and are activated by also contraction and handling during the surgery. Second is due to like chemoreceptors. So chemoreceptors are due to they present in the mucosa of the upper gut, and they are extremely sensitive to the noxious chemical stimuli. So you all know the chemoreceptor trigger zone. It is located in the brainstem. So the brainstem is the area of the vital centers of respiration and circulation. In that area called postrema, it able to detect the circulating toxins in the CSF and activates the vomiting center in the medulla. Also the impulses from vestibular labyrinth, vestibular cardiac afferent may also influence the nausea and vomiting, as we see in myocardial infarction. The lot of systems like cholinergic system, dopaminergic system, serotonergic system, histaminic receptors, or every kind of receptors are involved in the vomiting. So the motor component of the vomiting reflex. It is mediated by both autonomic and the somatic component. So the vagal motor neurons for the gut originate from the dorsal motor vagal nucleus and also nucleus ambiguous. Then dorsal and the ventral respiratory groups, they regulate the phrenic nerve output, is located in the brainstem. They are parasympathetic neurons. So basically we are dividing vomiting into two phases, that is a pre-ejection phase and the ejection phase. In pre-ejection phase, it will be associated with like cold extremities, sweating, pupil dilatation, tachycardia, salivation. So it is mediated by both the sympathetic and parasympathetic, and the ejection phase is associated with like retching and vomiting. So like stimulations like pharyngeal stimulation, gastrointestinal distension, abdominal surgery, anesthetic agents, pain, opioid medications, hypoxia, hypertension, vestibular disturbances, and psychological factors. All this they influence the vomiting. Then, so we divide the vomiting factors are the patient factors, preoperative factors, intraoperative factors. So the patient factors of emesis are 50% of the vomiting is in the age group of 6 to 16 age group, and also age more than 40. The women are 2 to 4 times they are more likely to have postoperative nausea and vomiting. The obesity predisposes to postoperative nausea and vomiting, and also there is a history of motion sickness. They are also prone to nausea and vomiting. So non-smokers are uh, non-smokers are prone for vomiting. Then those who have a delayed gastric emptying, for example those who are having intra-abdominal pathology, then autonomic gastropathy due to diabetes mellitus, hypothyroidism, pregnancy, increased intracranial hypertension, history of swallowed any blood, and also the patient with the full stomach, they are all increased risk of postoperative nausea and vomiting. So what are the pre-operative risk factors for PONV? They are like either the prolonged fasting state or the recent intake of food. Both are pre-operative factors for postoperative nausea and vomiting. Anxiety predisposes. The surgery associated with increased ICT, then any GI obstruction, any pregnancy, or abortion, or cancer patients on chemotherapy, they are all preoperative factors. Then atropine delays the gastric emptying and lowers the esophageal tone. Then morphine and pethidine, they increase the gastric secretion and thereby decreases the GI motility. So what are the intraoperative factors? Intraoperative factors are like intubation. While doing intubation, the patients are prone for vomiting. So deeper plane of anesthesia or gastric insufflation, and also head movement after awakening leads to sudden vestibular discharge. Then opioids, then induction agents like etomidate and methotrexate, they are associated with the increased rate of postoperative nausea and vomiting. Then ether and cyclopropane, they are associated with high incidence, so we have to avoid ether and cyclopropane. Nitrous oxide also causes a PONV, so we have to avoid, like we have to decrease the usage of nitrous oxide in order to avoid the postoperative nausea and vomiting. So it is a lower with the spinal anesthesia. So regional anesthesia still have the lower incidence of postoperative nausea and vomiting. The surgeries such as ophthalmic surgery, GI surgery, ENT surgery, and gynecological surgery are all associated with postoperative nausea and vomiting. Then pain, dizziness, ambulation, and early intake of food are all associated with the postoperative nausea and vomiting. So how we will manage the postoperative nausea and vomiting? We have to use a propofol induction agent, metoclopramide 10 mg, just 15 to 30 minutes before the end of the surgery. By this way, we can decrease the risk of postoperative nausea and vomiting. For major operations, first of all, ensure the empty stomach by preoperative vomiting and trials tube aspiration. So we have to give metoclopramide Perinom 45 minutes before the surgery. You have to give pre-oxygenation for 3 minutes, injection propofol for induction, then endotracheal intubation with non-depolarizing muscle relaxant with cricoid pressure. So how to control the postoperative nausea and vomiting? Antiemetics are the mainstay, and we can use dexamethasone. Actually, like they are saying acupuncture, that is P6 acupuncture, P6 area of the acupuncture, it will result in decreased postoperative nausea and vomiting. So what are the take-home message for postoperative nausea and vomiting? First of all, you establish those who are high risk for postoperative nausea and vomiting. Then mostly use propofol. Avoid as far as possible, avoid opioids, avoid sudden movement and change of posture. Early intake of food and drink should be discouraged. Attention given to, like we have to give attention to hydration and the pain management. Then if for example, one drug is not working, we can try multimodal drug regimen. And lastly, you reassure the patient. Hope you have enjoyed this video. Thank you very much. Bye.